Okay, so back for another one of these. Um, so we're gonna go back into VCAT experience and try to check out some more of it. I think yesterday I made it through part of I think it's called the Parareal Tokyo world, but we're gonna take a look at the rest of it and then see what else we can find. So let's just jump into it. Here, I'm gonna fly through it a little bit faster than I did yesterday. So for those of you who haven't been in there, definitely check it out. Um, some thoughts right off the bat. I I think it's first of all, I think it's incredible the amount of work that's been put into it and the amount of support from uh, these larger companies. And of course, sort of glitching out here. Just give me a sec. This world does take some time to load into if you have a slower connection. Um, Quite a large world. Now, what I find impressive right off the bat is different companies that they've partnered with here to bring this experience. And uh, but yeah, so I think it's really great. I think um, I think in general, and maybe I'll see this in some of the other worlds they have. Um, I think it's a decent balance of the commercial brands and the artwork domains themselves. And I think it's hard to do in a lot of cases in back over here, but in traditional like festivals, like you'd have an art festival or something, you have your sponsors, right? And I can only speak from experience, but in Baltimore we had Artscape, which is supposedly the biggest outdoor art festival in the U.S. and on the East Coast, I think. Um, but one of the criticisms with Artscape was often that as the years went on, there was a lot more commercial presence and not enough of an art presence, or that the art presence wasn't supported enough, and therefore you would just see, Pepsi booth or like a um, Bud Light, whatever installation or something. And so it's curious here because there is a lot of product placement and there are a lot of brands here, and I think the ones that are here are really smart. I think they're really looking towards the future and they see what's happening here and the potential there is to market, right? To sell digital products, physical products through a a virtual experience. And there are some that are involved a little bit deeper in terms of how much they contribute to the industry. And you'll see in this case, there's some companies that are showcasing technologies that are relevant to the AR, VR, XR industry, and it's that makes sense, right? That kind of pairing makes sense. So I think when it's done tastefully, it's good. I think um, when it's too commercial, I think that's when we'll start to kind of. I think people will naturally sort of react to that. Whether it's that they will boycott those types of experiences or whatever it will be. I think that the community, the culture will react. I think for right now, this is a good mix. Commercial interests and artistic representation. Yeah, without any further ado, let's just jump back in. We'll see what we have here. So I'm going to change avatars first of all. Yeah, and this penguin. Um, was Travis Scott a lot last night, but I'm going to switch to this. So if you saw the stream yesterday, I went through a lot of this. What I've again here, I'm glitching a little bit, but what I noticed was this year there's a lot of these um, experiences where your motion is being your avatar rather is being motion driven by animations that I guess are baked into the prefab, um, which allow you to come up with cool things like this. And I think this approach and some of the other ones I've seen in here are good representations of like what is the ultimate experiential um, experiential marketing type of uh, I don't know what you would even call it, like installation, let's say, right? So if this was again in the real world, you'd have a company, they have a booth. The past couple of years, a lot of that line between the art world, the art installation, and the commercial installation has been blurred. Point of not being able to distinguish the two from each other. But I think we're coming up to the point where we're seeing that happen here, and um, it's being explored in really cool ways. I think um, a lot of the limitations, obviously, that you have in real life don't apply here. So you can have um, a photo booth where suddenly your face is plastered all over the world that you're in, or there's a the Audi experience here, which I did a little bit yesterday, where I think it's more than one person can get in that car. So you can have like four friends in that car. It'll be on what do you call it, like on a track, and then while that's going on, you could take selfies in there, and that's your kind of takeaway from the whole thing. You know, in the real world, for a brand to set that up, to have that installation running, have the overhead, the setup costs, all that kind of stuff, that's eliminated at this point. People are still getting the the message from the commercial entity to buy this product or whatever it is. And I think as we get deeper into this stuff, more and more companies are going to understand that and they're going to see the value and they're going to hopefully be able to work with the industry and the communities to create experiences that are more than just commercials and that have some kind of um, not just interactive, but like some kind of um, substance to them. Let's just put it that way, right? At the end of the day, it has to be um, more than just a commercial. It has to have substance. It has to be fun, um, and I think we're getting there. I think it's these things are slowly getting there. But also, it's just in general, like how cool is it to see things at this scale, right? So again, here we've got like these big companies here. When you click on it, it opens up a page in the browser. Here we've got Form Labs, Sunrise. Not sure what's causing the glitching. I'm on a 1070, so I don't know if that's my setup or it's the Oculus Link. I hope it's not showing up too much on the stream. Yeah, it looks like it is a little bit. Let me try one thing. I'm going to try to close Unity here. Hopefully that did something. Um, we've got these things, so I'm gonna. So one thing, and this is not really to do with the festival, but with VR chat in general. Um, sometimes like the UI is really still takes some getting used to for me. I like that they have this here, so you can teleport to different worlds, different parts of the experience. There's a chat. I don't know how many people use this really. Turn off post process. I didn't realize that was a computer the first time I walked into it. A radio station. Again, I think it's probably easier if I had hands to. Um, for some of these, you can actually. There's a lot of these clickable ones where they take you to the website. Um, Now, again, I think there's a balance to be struck here between having too many ads and having enough sponsorship to do something this big. Um, I think in general, as with most things, um, you want to have something that's well curated as opposed to just having a lot of fluff for the sake of having too many features or too many things. So this is one of those oops, selfie walls I was talking about, and this I think is kind of cool because you can do it with friends. You can set up a frame for it to go into. I think it might save into your camera. I'm not sure. Um, so I mean, we've even got like marble in here. And again, one of the things that I'm probably not going to get out of this experience completely due to time zones and the fact that um, I'm in the oh, this was not open last time. Um, Person talking. Touch trailer here for the Widow. So, if anyone's watching this, um, I'd be curious to know for those of you who tried out PlayStation Home when that was a thing, back on the PlayStation 4, or no, the PlayStation 3, my bad. Um, that was a similar kind of experiment where you had lots of potential within Sony to bring in things like this in a digital space, and you can collect items and meet up and do these kind of like branded experiences. Um, do you think that this does it better? Do you think that we've moved forward? Um, or do you think that this is kind of more of the same, but just shinier, you know? And if you do feel like it's more of the same, where it's just this kind of like, you know, okay, well, we've got presentations like this, but there could be more done to make it more interactive or something like that. Um, and I'm curious to know what could be done to change it up, right? To make it more substantive. I think it's almost there. Now, whether again having like an actual person in here, whether that would make a lot of a difference, and I think it does. Um, what else can be done? Obviously, with the time zones, it's limited. Uh, Speaking as someone who worked as an in-world guide, um, it is kind of a strange job to be in VR and then um, you're on shift and people are coming in and out. But it does, I feel like that does give people who use the platform a better experience on it. Um, Makes the world feel more fuller and richer, and I think you can take a lot more away when you have an extra person. And again, you can't do everything, but for something this scale, I think that's part of the issue. If you're going to go this scale, then um, having a guide or several stationed throughout it on shift, um, I think that might make it even that much more immersive. And again, this might be something to do, but until I experience it, I can't really fully comment on that. This is Digital Motion, Oculus Quest. I think I saw an ad for this actually. Uh, cool. This was a sponsor from last year. Fan of these cameras. But yeah, I mean that's what I'm really curious about. Maybe I'll just ask someone on Twitter because when you've got a world like this that can hold, each instance can hold about 30 people, right? Um, and it's pretty massive. How do you, when you do have people staffing it, how do you address that? Are there are there people on different instances, like on shift, or how does that work? We're really friendly at this store. Right before I even got in, I got that. Irashaimase. PlayStation Home was forward thinking, but Sony didn't commit to it. That's a good point, Chris. Yeah, there was a lot of promise, a lot of hype, but um, yeah, it didn't really live up to expectations, and they really wanted it to be like that hub. And it was a lot to ask, I think, of developers to um, create these extra worlds and tie them in and all that kind of stuff. Like it's a hard sell when you're not entirely sure what um, if there's a market there, I guess. I saw a documentary where it kind of like in the end there was some cool stuff going on with like the stores and the digital clothing they were selling and stuff like that. Um, but towards the end, I kind of also stopped using it, and I was the one who was downloading like the Japanese version, so I could, um, or not. It was like the Japanese version of something else in the PlayStation Store. I could get in and like try out all the stuff that they weren't releasing. Um, but but yeah, I mean, this is on another level. What I'm really curious about is like the relationship between the companies and then the artists. Um, like obviously for a booth like this, if this is Autodesk, they're gonna have 3D artists working on this stuff. Actually, before I proceed, let me want to make sure I don't miss the next time someone pops in to do comments. So I'm gonna pull up OBR drop. I appreciate the comments. I appreciate the discussion. One sec here. I just have to change settings. OBR drop is weird because oh, there it is. Okay, come on. That okay. OBR drops. That. Okay, so let's make sure. Okay, you guys can't see the chat. Okay. So anyway, again, let's just keep flying through this a little bit. So here, this is the VirtualCast booth. And so I tried out VirtualCast. I really like it as a tool to stream with. Strange. There's music that keeps playing and then it cuts out. Oh, hello. Um, One of my favorite features of VirtualCast is the fact that you can get feedback in the form of like comments that drop out of the sky. Go check out what those updates are about. Okay, so we've got a temple here. Then we've got this Ghost in the Shell experience. Now, I'm gonna jump in. I can't film what's in here beyond a certain point, so I'm not gonna press the play button once I get down there. But they've got this cool hallway. Unique artwork, character artwork. Feels like Ghost in the Shell, right? And then there's the do not take video sign. So I'm just gonna exit here to check it out for yourself. But I like how much that drop transports you into a different space entirely. So here we have some more displays for the next boost that we're going to see up here. Virtual market sign right here. You go over there? No. Looks like we're going into the second part of this. So we were at Tokyo Station. We saw the theater, Tokyo Tower. We're going up to Dome, Sky Tree, Radio Hall, and then the stadium. So here we have a free download, so I'm going to click it in the browser. Actually, over so you can see it. There we go. So it looks like it's a comic. So free download for a comic. The manga, that's cool. Really nice artwork. Then of course the free avatar. Or no, you have to buy it. But if you switch to it, there's probably a watermark somewhere. Yeah, the whole thing is watermarked. Wow. Well, hey, that's one way to protect your asset for sure. Okay, so let's go this way. Stadium. Now I went in here earlier and I didn't see anything. Um, there was a augmented reality demo, so maybe this might be part of that. I'm not entirely sure, but it seems like there would be the reason why that would be there. There, howdy. And this is a really fancy. Let's go in here. You can actually buy these shoes right on the website if you want. Oops. Cool. So we passed the tower. We passed. This must be the. Oh, there it is. The sky tree. This way. I'm really curious if there's any like behind the scenes um, videos or like interviews of teams who built this. I'd really love to see that content. It's a thing. In this case, they chose to have just like a an asset on top as the watermark. Another one of those photo walls. One thing I noticed is I've seen this a lot where, I mean, I think this is based off like a basic, one of the templates they have for the booth sizes, but I'm lagging up. Um, this kind of like box with the two levels. I'm really curious if this being open is a specifically a choice because people either like got stuck here or what the issue is. Oh, someone just came into someone just came into the chat there. Really curious. The Dark King Jeremiah. This person. Anyway, this is another one of those where so there's a cube here. You can kind of see the way the shader is set up once you walk into it. To be like directly in the center of it. Now I'm transported to a whole different area. I guess I'm on a date here. That's honestly one of my favorite things about stepping into a VR like diorama or installation is that with the shaders you can set it up so transported. See what else we have. I promised I'd run through it quick, so I'm gonna try to keep that promise. The audio is playing here. So again, here's another one of those AR in VR. So first time I looked at this, I didn't know what I was looking for, but then the second time I did it, I realized that there are some like bugs and creatures and stuff hidden in the world. I'm curious if the stadium, if there's one in there. I can't imagine they would just leave that blank. Just as I thought. So you can see, hope that shows up on the stream too. So it's intentional then. Yeah, these big open spaces that are kind of empty. Um, It's cool. I mean, it's fun to be able to do that in VR. I think I might drop the phone though, because I be creating some lag. Really curious. I feel like you'd have to be tiny to appreciate that. Oh, hold on, stay with me. Yeah, even with my smallest avatar, definitely someone I feel like in, sure what this is. All right, the outfit, pirate, some sort, Knight of the Queen. I feel like this might be another one with the phone. I don't know what that's supposed to be. Here we have one life. Click this, it'll pop up the website for whatever this is. I saw it earlier. I think they're a studio of some sort. All right, let's fly through this. Panasonic. Look at that. This is one of those bigger sponsors, definitely. And in this case, they've got some tech that they're showing off. So it's not just an advertisement. It says here they're showing how they have heat maps for VR. That's something that I hadn't thought about until I got in here. You know, you have heat maps for websites and things like that, but um, what if you want to see how people are using um, your experience and track, where people are clicking, where they usually tend to stand. Definitely a useful tool if you're developing a kind of experience. I don't know why I'm glitching up so much. Sonic, of course. Sega's in here. Here we've got a wall of companies, creators, all kinds of stuff. So interesting. Last time I was in here, there was more worlds available in this um, area, more portals rather. Few that seem to be closed, so I'm curious what that's about. Uh, let's see. Try the white cube. Give that some time to load. Okay, so I have. See if we can run through this one real quick. So one thing that I noticed is when I look in the worlds menu, there's maybe like 6 distinct um, worlds for VCAT, and then there's each one of them has like maybe a couple variants to it. I'm not sure what the variances are. Oh shoot. So okay, VCAT 3 there was this cube thing, and there was all kinds of these animations going on. Is everyone ready? You ready? Where'd it go? Okay. Yellow, yellow 2, yellow 3, yellow 1. Oh, so this almost looks like the Unity. There's like a Unity demo for the interaction XR toolkit. That's what this looks like right here. I don't know if that's the intention or what. I also don't know what's going on. Like, what does this mean? Okay, I looked at that one. I'm glad there's a check mark there. I don't know what it is, but I like it. So whoever's a default cube is, their way with shaders is pretty spectacular. This person did some photogrammetry. Let's check it. Huh, interesting. It's pretty raw as far as photogrammetry goes. Virtual portal. I'm gonna take a picture of this and research it later. Okay, so we saw that in all the yellow. Curious. Wonder what also like how they decided which booths would be part of this experience versus the other world we were in. So so far these have definitely been more standalone. Maybe these are more user created versus like, created by a studio. That'd be my guess. Avatars for sale. Green, one more green. Let's check it out. We start with this one. Guess you just jump in. Okay. Like a entrance. All right. This is kind of cool. Honestly, more than anything, it just makes me want to, for the next VCAT, to contribute something. I think once they start doing it international, hey, we have someone who's making weapons here, or different types of items. Cool. Animations are just this one. Power. Do I want this is from the last one where they really did that trippy shader motion graphics. Oh shit. Oh, this looks like an advertisement for this virtual world itself, and they've shrunk it down. Cool. Up there, let's see what that is. Clicked on it. Oh, danger. This is a really impressive use of animations and transitions. Okay, and we're back to this one. Oh, all right. Oh shit. Through these. Whoa, a lot going on. I like this. I think I saw a video, one of those masterclass previews for this like interior designer, and she talks about how asymmetry is really what makes something really appealing to the eye. And I think she has a point because this space, it's not a cube. It's like it's got a lot of angles and like there's pieces that are just broken off and makes me want to explore the space even more. To grab this. Come in here, 3D printing, laser cutter. Um, I like that one. All being adjusted. Scheduled to be sold to be determined. Okay, so in this case, they chose to put the watermark like right next to that first head. So, um, yeah, so far, this one out of the ones I've been to in this kind of default cube have been one of my favorites because it just looks fun to explore due to the like asymmetry of it. One is home kit. Okay, so I think I saw this person's stuff last time, and they do interior design. So yeah, they were the ones that were doing these really impressive, realistic models. I mean, this is like a professional for sure. I think I saw everything of the pink, blue, yellow, we done green, teal. Do these real quick. Cyan. Arms. Oh. So this looks like someone's shop showing off the avatars. That's cool. Modeling request. This one is we have a Blender head here. Original avatar. 3D humanoid. Cool. Okay, so if you want an avatar made, person to come to. I'm curious if these are 100% Blender or if they're using Vroid to make these as well. Super Richard Count. Twitter.com. Here's my camp. This jiggling thing here. Three. Click. Like one of those times where I'd want to put up a meme of people dancing to anime intros. Oh shit. Okay, that was fun. Curious is the music is still playing even though I changed the area that I'm in. I take here. Oh, okay. So this is performers. So these are virtual reality performers selling CDs. So I saw this in the other VCAT world last year. It's kind of cool. I wonder if this is the producer or what their role is in the band. Got too many things, too much music playing at once. Green, pink, red. Oh, I just pulled that thing out of the ground. What is going on with this bird? I think it's freaking out. That music is still playing. So this looks like Tilt Brush to me. Um, Play sound. I don't think I will. But I was curious if you could bring in Tilt Brush artwork into this, and it looks like you can. Thank God that song is over. uh, Little gnome. Dude, I like the kind of grunginess of the text. The Maya Forest. Maya Quest. Neko Phantom. Yeah, we'll change. Keep an eye out for that. Saw all the red, saw all the blue. Blue sends to pink, red, yellow. Yeah, I guess I should. Blue. Okay, interesting. So we're both using the same cube. I mean, I don't know. How do I get out of here then? Blue. Okay, well, I think I saw everything. Um, Before I stop stream, what I'm curious about is there's several default cubes here. So the one I'm in is 5. Click on default cube 1. And if what I think is true, then man, there's so much content in here. I'm gonna have to. It's gonna take like a whole week to see all of it. Just take a look, and if it is something completely different, I'll have to come back another. Glitch out. Okay. Ready. This one says it's default cube 1, which is different than the 4. Yeah. So this one is completely different. So wow. So that means that there are indeed. This is massive. Man. This means that if I was in default cube 5, this means that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There's so much content here, just in the default cubes. Um, there's several avatar showcases. There's like several versions of each world, if you can imagine that. That's intense. Yeah, I'm gonna have to come back and check. So let's just. I'm gonna leave this group here. Suddenly I'm overwhelmed. um, but yeah, wow, that's impressive. I didn't realize that there was that many um, components to this. I mean, if I've only seen so far was it the Parareal Tokyo, one of those, right? And there's like 4 or 5 versions of them. And then the default cube, there's like 6 or 7 of those. I've only seen one. And each default cube has 5 sides to it. And then each side has like 4 displays in one. I'll have to do the math on that, but that's a lot of content. They weren't kidding when they said this is the largest VR exhibition, VR convention experience, whatever you want to call it. This is massive. So yeah, I guess keep track, like find a way to keep track of what you have seen, because I can already tell this is going to be quite the experience to kind of try to see all of it. I imagine that it'll still be up after the official date of the festival. I don't know if they're gonna close some of these down, um, but yeah, there's more to see. So see you next time. Thanks for watching.